RTD Live Talk, Detroit's number one late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Monday night edition. What's on your radar? Your topic, your voice. I want to hear from you guys this evening. Hope everyone's doing well. And so I have a lot of a lot of interesting stories. I'm going to just scan through the surface, touch on the headlines, and then again I'm going to open the phone lines so you guys can share what you've been keeping an eye on, and then we can have a little fun, navigate these waters, and just talk our way through this current insanity. But welcome to the live stream. My name is Mike, the host of Detroit's number one YouTube talk show. And so looking forward to getting a chance to connect with you guys. If we have any new viewers, feel free to let me know where you're watching from via the chat. Or if you're bold enough and want to call in, 313-462-0027 is the phone line number. Love to hear from you guys when the phone lines are open. So let's dive in. Let me know where you watch from in the chat. I'd love to acknowledge your presence, and then we'll dive into a couple articles. I'll try to keep my rants to a minimum and let you guys share what's on your mind. So let me line up everything on my side back here, and then we should be good to go. And so I see that there's, one thumbs down before I even started. So I appreciate that honesty. Anyway, let me do a little house cleaning before I dive any further. And I want to make sure I keep everybody up to date as to how you can stay connected. If we come across that point where we happen to be disconnected from YouTube, because I do think the time is coming. And so let me share my screen real quick. So for those that are tuning in, rethinkingthedollar.com is the home base where you can find all the articles, crypto, gold, silver, you name it, as well as my recommendations. And more importantly, for those that might be new to the alternative media space, perhaps I would encourage you to scroll to the bottom and test your dollar IQ. And so the goal is to help people awake to the reality that the current monetary system has already changed, and hopefully you'll have time to make some type of adjustments to your current financial situations before you lose it all through this current monetary global heist that's underway. So feel free to test your IQ at the Rethinking a Dollar IQ quiz. And then for those that are interested, this Wednesday evening, we're going to have a Patreon hangout where you get a chance to just hang out off air and let some steam off. You can feel free to rant on screen with me for those that are interested. So become a member of the Patreon gang, and you can join us this Wednesday at about 9:30ish or so. And then also, lastly, I want to make sure you guys know where to connect via social media. And so social media tab beneath this button here, it's all the locations for Rethinking the Dollar, from Twitter to Parler to Rumble to Library to BitTube to Gab to BitChute, you name it, we're there. But the most important one happens to be the Discord page, because the community interacts throughout the day, and as well as the Instagram and Telegram group as well. So feel free to connect with us and share articles, share videos, whatever you guys feel comfortable with doing. So, all right. So let me real quick, let me dive into the chat, acknowledge a couple people. Thank you for blessing me with your presence, and then let's make this worth your while. So we got Mr. Let me scroll to the top. Okay, we got Crypto King, Mr. Hexagon himself. How you doing, my friend? We got Boosh. Let me see. It said my cryptos, commodity stocks, and silver all went up today. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. Gold and silver did a little bit today as well, so that's always a good thing. But yet, to me, I'll get into that. I have some thoughts I want to share with you on that. What else we got? Low blood pressure in the building. We got Faith Parent. We got Solo. Mr. Johnson. Hello, all. Never been here. Just been lurking. Appreciate you for taking time to join us, my friend. JB. What else we got here? We got No Yama Drama from NYC. Roger Rose. We got JB. We got Daryl in the building. We got Phil and Doc Dryden. How you doing, my friend? Let me see. Okay, fair amount of people here. We got Jay, Luke, Tom. Okay, Ed is in the building. All right, Pete, appreciate you for tuning in, man. A lot of things worth touching on. So basically, where do you guys want to start? I'm going to just scan through a couple of titles, stuff I grabbed from the Discord page, where I put some throughout the day, as well as those in the community happen to put articles there during the day. And, it's no order whatsoever. It's just, some things worthy of mentioning, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. And so let me actually start off with something that really, let me know what you guys think of this one. But this is right here. This is interesting here. So when I saw this, I shared it immediately, because I'm thinking like, that's kind of, just, I don't know how to read this, but, Bill and Melinda Gates say they are ending their marriage after 27 years. So I'm thinking like, 27 years, they are the second, so-called wealthiest couple probably on the planet or whatever. And they are, so far I think they're the orchestrators of a lot of the things we're experiencing, as far as them having funded all the, the events 201, and you name it out here. They're putting the funds up for it, but yet they're, according to what we're being told, they're going their separate ways. So I think that's very interesting, because it goes to show that, I guess, money can't make you happy. So, not sure, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. Is it surprise? Is it just smoke and mirrors? Is it just a little publicity stunt? They're trying to, garner up some sympathy, or who knows? Let me know what you guys think. But yet, I've been studying those two individuals for quite some time now, and over the last couple of years, just how my personal opinion is just they're just very dark, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, here's another something I put in the chat. Tough times for Tinder. It says chicken shortage looms because of increased demand, supply chain disruptions. And so here's one of the things where it appears to be that we're getting artificial, and this is where, so just a little caveat to I get into my little rant, but yesterday in particular in the Discord page, noticing some of the community members going back and forth, not necessarily in complete disagreement, but just more so arguing or trying to really get across their point of views as to where we're at in this economy. And so one was saying that, we're already experiencing extreme inflation, and they listed a lot of categories as to how that is. And then the other one, Tony B, you know who you are, was mentioning how, of course, they're fighting deflation, which of course is the case as well. So I try to chime in as like a little mediator and say, gentlemen, there's no point of us, going back and forth amongst ourselves, because ultimately we're living in a basically asset price distortion environment. Real negative rates is out there, and we got overly accommodative monetary policy has thrown off everything. So just the fact that we as individuals in the alternative media space are questioning the speed at which this thing is coming down, it makes it like, man, it's like, okay, anywhere it go, we know how this will eventually end. There's no future in a Federal Reserve note, and as a part of this one world, unified bodies that try to get us into one type of centrally controlled government / currency down the line, no matter what. I think the Federal Reserve note, aka the dollar, is heading down the drain. So it's a race to get resources at any capacity. So I thought that was interesting. So, gentlemen, I'm curious to, if you guys are tuning in, I see Tony B tuned in. Feel free to chime in on the phone lines open as to some of those thoughts if you want to continue those on with a little small rant of your own. But, we're on the same team, man. We all know that it's us versus them, and them meaning those that are trying to orchestrate this whole shift into this next world order, whereas we ourselves are trying to maintain our current levels of liberty, freedom, and privacy, you name it. So, it just was interesting to see the back and forth on that subject matter. But anyway, we can imagine that the goal is, according to what they've told us, that we'll own nothing and we'll be happy with it, which means they're going to try to disrupt and destroy all the supply chains of everything so that people are not able to buy and sell in normal fashion the way they normally would. Because I believe, and I'm sure you all can agree as well, that the ultimate goal is for them to own everything and to then divvy it out to us in proportion to what they think is best for us, according to their twisted and evil way of thinking. So curious to get your guys' thoughts on this whole little chicken situation here. And then here's another one that I want to share, because this, of course, hits right home for me, because, we have Ford, GM, and Chrysler, the big three. This is Motor City here. So I remember doing a video a while back saying basically wherever Motor City goes, so does our nation. And the fact that they're talking about cutting down production due to a chip shortage. And then, I think Daryl put another article into the Discord about how they're saying that the chip shortage could last for several years to come. And so once again, I think it's a deliberate attempt by the heavy wigs at the top, the heavy corporations, to create this chaos by, destabilizing the supply chain intentionally, and also hoarding a lot of the raw materials and resources so that manufacturers are not able to do business as normal, creating more pain. And like I remember saying this, several months ago, ultimately what we're going to witness is those that are trying to control this narrative, trying to create as much pain as possible so they can continue to roll out their plans in accordance to the way that it's already been predetermined. I.e., I got an article here talking about the digital dollar and how looks like a story is now made public about them having some stuff ready to be rolled out sometime this year as a test. And so once again, they make it appear as if they're trying to keep pace with China because China's leading the way. But ultimately, there's only one way out, and it happens to be by them going solely digital, because they need to have the digital currencies out, their versions of a digital currency out in time, so that they are able to, at some point, go negative, literally negative, with the federal funds rate rather, because right now we're at zero. And of course, every prior recession, they need 500 basis points of cuts in the rates so that they can try to stimulate and promote and do more quantitative easing. So now that they're on the hook, they're on the edge now, trying to figure out how to control this collapse without it actually getting away from them to where they lose the ability to maintain the narrative that they can still bring it back to life, even though we all know it's dead. Just look at all the closed stores in your neighborhood, the mall shutting down, and you name it. Something's definitely wrong. So, yeah, I don't want to rant anymore, but just the headline lets you know, wherever Motor City goes, so does our nation. Don't forget that. All right, here's another one. And this is let me know this is very twisted. I don't know. I don't get this, but read into it. California releases 63,000 violent felons back onto the streets in an effort to create safer prisons. I'm gonna leave that right there. Let you guys chew on that one. And then here's a little something in the crypto space, which I saw in a Discord I thought was worthwhile. PayPal has held exploratory talks about launching a stable coin. So the question is, and so my crypto people out there, let me know your thoughts. Why does all the major payment processing companies looking to come up with their own stable coin? So, Gemini, wants to got a stable coin, Coinbase stable coin, PayPal wants a stable coin at the same time that the Federal Reserve, i.e. Treasury, is going to need to roll out their digital version of a stable coin. And it appears to be there's going to be a lot of competition as to who and how they're going to be able to remain some type of stability in a Federal Reserve note, aka the dollar, as the world is shifting away from it. So I'm not quite sure how exactly they're going to be able to keep the illusion of something being stable when, you look at the depreciation of currencies due to the inability to be able to purchase things at a stable price. So it's just interesting. But yet, once again, Facebook's going to have their Libra, stable coin coming out soon, or the DM stable coin coming out pretty soon. So the question is, will we have all these options of stable coins to use along with the Federal Reserve legal tender version of a stable coin, or what? Or are they going to bring it all in-house under one interoperable blockchain, and it will be backed by or pegged by the Federal Reserve note as well as other basket of goods? You guys let me know. But yeah, anyway, this whole digital blockchain stance, you guys know where I stood on this. It was all a part of the plan from the jump. And so they would never be able to pull off the greatest heist in humanity unless they dangled a carrot in front of the people, in the fact that they could profit as well on this transition through this vehicle right here, which a lot of people are doing. More power to you. Hopefully you're reaping the rewards of this transition, and you're getting into natural resources that you're going to need to be able to live a sustainable life if you had to opt out of the system, if it comes down to that. So yeah, anyway, okay, a couple of things here. eBay CEO hints at crypto payments. So once again, I'm trying to figure out, why exactly they're trying to make it so that it's easy for you to spin your cryptos into the system. But yet eBay, once again, they'll take your crypto, but they're not going to put it back out there because they want their fair share of being able to hold on something that is labeled a store of value and all that other good stuff. So I don't understand, outside of literally getting out to get into something real and tangible that you can feel, something that can help your family, for years to come right away. I don't see the point of swiping a card to purchase, a gadget or knickknack off of eBay. But, I might be different. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then here's another one here. Former CFTC boss, digital dollar project ready to kick off first CBDC test. And so the CBDC test is ready to be kicked off. And like I mentioned before, it's all about timing. They want to make sure that they stay on track with what they're going to roll out, because this is going to be a long, drawn-out process according to how they want to do it, because they need more chaos in the markets and whatnot. And they need to prepare for the opportunity to come in and save the day when there's a next market crash. And so they're going to need some liquidity, and they're going to need to interject cash directly to the people to create consumption again. So they, i.e. the CBDC might be ready by that time. So they're trying to buy some time. And then in the last article here, I got to put this up here because this right here is just like it's ridiculous. But they're turning this whole jab process into an affiliate program. But it says Good Neighbor program pays Detroiters $50 for taking residents to get the jab. So I'm thinking, like, imagine turning your grandma, your aunties, and your uncles into affiliate marketers. Like, literally, they're turning the jab into a multi-marketing opportunity. You can get paid for bringing some family members down. Like how sick and twisted is this? But that's just me. I could be wrong. But anyway, I laid out a couple stories here. Feel free to chime in on it. What's on your radar? I'm curious. I'm going to stop ranting, shut my mouth, let you guys rant a little bit. And let me know what's on your mind. I want to acknowledge a super chat. Let me find it in my chat here. And then we can talk some. Let me get this. Where is it at? Let me see here. Okay, so the Thunder Sound. Appreciate that, my friend. It says, stablecoins are a way for companies to increase liquidity reserves by managing that value as separate from the stock and other asset values. Also, TXO time. Okay, so I can understand that 100%. And so my question for you, the Thunder Sound, moving forward, how will the federal government rein that in? Or how will they because I don't see the CBDC, like this article, the CBDC, I don't see them adjusting with the private sector's version of a stable coin, even though it's still utilized or so-called pegged backed by the dollar itself. But when they're trying to usher in a new brand of a currency, simply just because the current brand we have is no longer valid, like, the purchasing power of this current unit here has already technically gone sub-zero. So they need to prepare for the next time they need to inject directly into the hands of the consumers, not necessarily the institutions. Because when you think about it, when they inject right directly into our apps, CBDC wallet apps, more than likely it's going to filter back into the hands of Wall Street and corporations through investments, through Robinhoods and all that other stuff that's going to be still available. And so how will they make that adjustment? Because competition is one thing that centrally controlled entities do not like. And so that's what my concern is. How will they rein all that in? And so a lot of people say that, what is USDC will probably end up being the best version to interlink directly with the digital dollar version. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts. So I appreciate that love offering and your thoughts as well. So providing liquidity for the private sector and corporations is definitely something that they have taken advantage of. And then also, to piggyback on that same idea, it gives some exposure to the technology for those corporations, because the most important corporations and entities are the financial institutions, i.e. hedge funds, all the investment firms and whatnot. Those are individuals that need to slowly work into their framework and their charters or whatnot, the opportunity to even involve themselves in the digital space. The safest way is to say, we're going to, take some of these dollars, put them in a stable coin so we can then park them over here and earn some yield on them, because they're not earning any yield parking in the banks either. So they've been forced to go into very speculative and dangerous financial products that they've created at the expense of the depositors. So okay, keep it moving. Okay, so I like that. It says maintaining master Fed blockchain accounts. Those will be the interface with the stable coins and atomic swaps of value compared to old SWIFT transfers. Banking apps will put brick and mortars out of business. Oh, I like that. I like your thinking right there, my friend. So the atomic swap aspect, that is going to be interesting. Okay, so definitely the decentralized nature is what this is all about. So a lot of people want to have the atomic swap opportunities, and so you're basically saying that anything labeled as a stable coin that is pegged to the dollar will be something that they can swap the one for one with their digital version of it. And so that is interesting. That is very interesting, because I want to see how this plays out when it comes to the fact that the majority of the current dollar denominated Federal Reserve digits happen to be commercial bank created. And so there's 30 or around 30 trillion or so of the digital dollar instruments created through taking out a debt at your local commercial bank that's in existence. And then you got about, I think, less than 2-3 trillion worth of paper out there circulating. So that could be roughly, 27-30 trillion dollars worth of dollar denominated instruments on top of all the other debts and instruments priced in dollars out there. And so at the end of the day, I wonder, they're going to need a lot of support no matter what. They're going to need to inject a lot of additional stimulus or dollar creations into existence just to sustain the current level of debt. And so that's the only way the system can continue to go, is if they inflate the current monetary base. Now, whether it's Federal Reserve base or whether it's the Fed coin base, it's going to have to continue to, go upwards, and at the expense of those that hold and save in those instruments, because we'll never be able to outsave or outspend or outcreate at the rate that they will be bringing those digits into existence. And then factor in, I'm ranting a little bit because the phone lines are open. Feel free to give me a call. I want to hear from you guys. But actually, let me, what I think about it? I'm not even logged in. Ain't that something? Forgive me. So tell people to call in, and the phone line's not available. So forgive me. I apologize for that. But all this and how they're trying to orchestrate this is going to be very interesting. And that's why I think ultimately you don't want to be the last one holding the bag. You don't want to be the last one holding the bag of debt denominated instruments that comes from the Fed and the Treasury working together, because you won't have much purchasing power left. And so that's going to be very dangerous as that all is rolled out. But anyway, so I apologize for that little hiccup. Let's talk. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on?
I'm doing good. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Andrew. I'm calling from Omaha, Nebraska.
Andrew from Omaha. What's going on? What's on your radar, my friend?
Dude, I'm just trying to get my weight up. Trying to stack.
Get it up while you can, man. It's never been a better time to be aware of the collapse, and also knowing what's the most promising and most probably the most secure anchor to hold yourself down with amongst all this other digital stuff out here than weight right now, I would imagine. But what else is going on, man?
Dude, doing some gardening stuff, just watching your channel, watching other silver channels, just trying to stack, man, trying to get my weight up.
Hey, keep it going, my man. Appreciate you, man, for calling and checking in with us.
All right, buddy. Hey, see you later.
Be good. Thanks for calling in.
Yep, bye-bye.
Yeah, good stuff. And speaking of weight, okay, let me get this other call here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Ed from Columbus. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm doing good, my man. What's going on with you? What's on your radar?
We got a crazy housing market down here north of Columbus, and really all over the country, I'm sure. But these people are getting excited. My house went up $20,000 last month in a month, and it's absorbent things. Well, if you own two, you can sell one and do something with the profit. But if you own one and you sell it, you got to pay that or maybe even a little more to replace it. And in the meantime, they're going to come around and revalue our houses and run us up the ladder with the taxes.
Yeah. So I've been watching, a lot more, real estate investor commentators and YouTube channels, and how, by Biden's American plan and all the extra taxes they get rolling out to, cover some of these costs of this stimulus and quantitative easing stuff out here, they're trying to take away, any profiting opportunities from real estate investors, man. Like, so they're changing the game, man, one tax hike at a time.
Yeah, so it's funny that people think they have all this value, but if it costs the same to replace it, you got to live somewhere, and then they're going to come around and jack up your tax bill. That's just taking money. You ain't making another one. You see your house goes up on Zillow, $20,000-$30,000 a month.
Yeah,
just add that to your tax bill.
Yeah, and that goes into things I've been saying for quite some time now. The illusion of having your net worth increase, but it's increasing in the currency that they're killing. And so it's going to ultimately boil down to whatever number you set as that ultimate number of what you're trying to have to retire or live comfortably ever after. Take that and by probably like times 10 that, given the fact of the cost in the environment you're living in, whether it be your food, your water, your shelter. And when all governments get tight, they got to jack taxes. So taxes, local taxes, state taxes, they're going to come up with new types of taxes, because they don't want you to have property. That's the ultimate goal. So if they're trying to remove property from you, how do they do that? By making it unaffordable to where it's unattainable to keep. So Yeah.
One other thing real quick.
Go ahead.
When you think about if we go digital,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to have to keep the value somewhat. If you got, $500K in the bank,
Mm-hmm.
they go digital. If they just erase that, I mean, people are going to go nuts, and you have a revolt on your hand. And, maybe that's what they want.
Yeah.
Don't you think that? What do you think about that? I'm gonna hang up and listen to you, Mike.
For sure.
What do you think about that as far as the value when we go digital? What will they do with our money?
All right, I'll share my thoughts. Thanks for the question. Thanks for calling in, man.
All right, man. See you later.
Okay, great questions and great thoughts. So my opinion. So basically, just basing my premise upon prior events that happened in other countries. Now, it's never been to the level of a reserve currency as the Federal Reserve note. So I'm just basically going upon Venezuela and other countries where basically whenever a currency as it's being inflated away and it gets extreme, i.e., if they reach the hyperinflation status, they ultimately one day, literally within over a weekend, like on a Saturday, Sunday, they announce some type of government edict where the government says that they're going to now chop off 2 or 3 zeros from the currency, usually if you have, currency with, multiple zeros or something behind it. But typically what they do is just redenominate and change the value of it. So I can imagine at some point they're going to come out with some type of 1-for-1 exchange is what it's going to start off as to make it appealing to where people don't protest and get up in arms, where say your commercial bank account and all your financial investments is priced in the Federal Reserve note, i.e. the commercial bank, dollar version. And then they'll probably try to somehow link it to your current CBDC app. Say it'll be a 1-for-1 exchange, whatever you had in your, Wells Fargo bank account, it'll transfer over and it'll show up in your, your app phone or something like that. Or what they're going to try to do, as Thunder Sound mentioned, about making it interoperable, they can atomic swap. So you can low-key have access through both of them. You can probably swipe your CBDC, deduct it from here, scan it here, buy something, and it'll probably deduct from your Wells Fargo. And then eventually in time, they're going to weed out the banks and you're going to slowly find yourself only on your app type of thing. And at that point, they can literally, once everyone's onto their phone and there's no more banks because they feel comfortable here, then they're going to come out with they're going to cut that boy in half domestically and change the valuation of the currency, I believe. Just like it happens in every other country. Okay, let's talk. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike. Joe from Reno.
Joe from Reno. I'm doing good, my friend. What's on your mind? What's on your radar?
So I figured it out. I've got the conspiracy down.
Okay, give it to us.
We're not living in the Matrix.
Okay.
We're living in trading places.
Trading places. Okay.
Did you see Trading Places?
I have, but refresh my memory.
So the two Duke brothers make a $1 bet to see if they could trade Eddie Murphy with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
So it's all a big joke. A Rockefeller and a Rothschild have made a $1 bet.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, if we screw up America to this extent, will they all go crazy? And the other guys, no, there's American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
And, they'll do it. So to me, this is turning into more of a comedy than it is Matrix itself. So
yeah.
they're just messing with us. There you go.
And
even the black-white thing is part of it too,
Yeah.
Reverse that and then all of that stuff. So, and the producer of this movie was Aaron Russo, who was one of the original whistleblowers on this whole New World Order. So, just wanted to inform you, we can stop digging into the conspiracies. We're living in trading places.
Hey, man, I got that on the screen because I literally, I think it was over the weekend, I was talking to my wife about this and she mentioned this, but I couldn't think of the name of the movie. So, yeah, good stuff, man. I appreciate you for bringing that to our attention, man.
Okay, just a little comedy.
Be good. Yeah. Oh, man. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Chip from Berkeley.
Chip from Berkeley. How you doing, my friend? What's on your radar?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, I was trying to figure out, how all the central banks are going to get everyone on board.
Mm-hmm.
And, someone brought up the atomic swap thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that totally makes sense. And I think another way that they might just kind of, put some sugar on top for everyone to bite into is there's this idea in the crypto world where they do what's called airdrops.
Yeah.
So they basically just, just print additional money.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell everybody, hey, your Stimmy's here, and there's a couple extra grand for you.
Yeah.
You just go ahead, download your app.
Yeah.
And you're good to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be like the speediest way that they're going to get everyone on board. It'll probably happen within probably a week.
Yeah,
close to a week. They can do that.
Good.
That's all I want to leave you, Mike.
Appreciate you, my man. Thanks for calling in. I'll add my 2 cents on top of that. Great thoughts, man. And so let me see here. So I like this thought here. Thunder Sound says digital securities contracts do not need people for servicing. Little need for lawyers, clerks, paper processors, no doubt. And so I'm glad you mentioned this because I just saw a video where Andrew Yang, who's running for mayor of, the city of New York, I believe, he was talking about how in this upcoming future, there's not going to be any need for certain types of professions. And a lot of that has to do with the service sector, the white collar jobs, the things that most people go to school for, that allows them to sit in the office and interact on a computer screen, because algorithms as well as robotics and all types of other things will take the place of that. And so that makes perfect sense that all this technology will be utilized to disrupt all the current financial markets plus some. So let me get here. Okay, get this call here. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
What's going on, Mike? It's Dwayne from the Midwest.
Dwayne, I'm doing good, my friend. What's on your radar today?
I'm pretty good. I've been having a question I wanted to throw at you. Just a man I needed to talk to.
All right, give it to me.
Listen, I want to get your opinion. I believe that because you and I have a similar opinion that this was all set up with the digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
And about a month ago, Janet Yellen was talking about doing credit swaps. I mean, SDR.
SDR, yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah.
SDR. And one of the congressmen, John Kennedy, said that you're just giving a lifeline to China.
Right.
That was his argument.
Right.
So then about 3 weeks later, China said that they were acceptance to Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, could it be that Bitcoin was always the original SDR?
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
You can get out of Bitcoin from any currency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's big enough now where it can soak up, national debt, institutional debt. About 50, 60,000. That can soak up a lot of debt.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 1 trillion market cap right now and growing. And I'm more than convinced than ever that, the need for a new invention / attention getter and, global economic disruptor such as Bitcoin, i.e. the blockchain, works great because it definitely keeps everybody's attention on this asset class, because all the mainstream media now sold and bought into it. And they're trying to find ways to use it as if it's like something that they can separate from the centrally controlled currencies and all that other stuff. But at what point does the central banks have a problem with having to deal with competition, where we're going to find out the real role of Bitcoin and how I don't think they can exist together. And I don't think that the governments and central banks are going to just roll over and die and accept Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheet and allow the world to profit while they bow down to we the people, because we the people say Bitcoin is unstoppable. So I still question it. I'm going to play with it, though, but I ain't going to bank on it like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but here's the reason why I think that. Here's the reason why I think that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you let Bitcoin go, Bitcoin is a friend to fiat currency. I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
If you use Bitcoin to buy a service,
mm-hmm.
you have to pay capital gain.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a value added tax.
Yeah.
So governments want inflation, they want taxes.
Yeah.
So if everybody on this currency and it's inflated, and whenever you spend it, you got to pay taxes, because that's a taxable event.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just where I'm at with it. I think I don't buy the hocus pocus that it's as much as against the system as it is for it.
Yeah.
It's starting to be like, it seems like to me it's more pro dollar than what the fan base really realized.
Yeah. And anywhere it go, it's being positioned, the fact that the mainstream, so we know all outlets, mainstream media outlets are all bought and paid for. They're propaganda machines for the orchestrators of this event, and they only allow their, the reporters that read off their teleprompters to tell us what is prescripted by whoever writes it. And then when you got them coming on, basically giving respect and props to the digital aspect space and blockchain and Ethereum, and they're excited about it. We got everybody named Mother now. We got professional athletes getting paid in it now. Like, it is here to stay. And Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen are not really out and about speaking on it as if like it's nothing they can do about it. Oh, really? But it buys them time, to do what they got to do behind the scenes. So I question it. I'm gonna question it until I can't no more, just because I think that's my, I feel comfortable questioning. I'm not bought and sold to where I'm like, Bitcoin gonna take down the governors, we're gonna be free. No, I ain't going that route. Because ultimately, like I said before, your financial freedom and your future, anything in the future they're going to try to make it go through the eye of a needle. And you know what needle that is, you know what I'm saying? So how free will you be at the end when you, whatever. Anyway, let me get some more calls, man. I appreciate you for calling and sharing your thoughts. Appreciate it, man. Oh, man, good stuff, man. Missed some calls. Give me a call, man. And it's one of the things where it's a talk show. Feel free to call in and share your opinions. I'm just sharing my opinion. I could be 100% wrong. I don't mind. This is how we work things through. This is how we get better. We, iron sharpeneth iron. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to call in, and I can always use some upgrading myself. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Mike, you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's cryptocurrency, Mike. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, it makes it easier to own nothing, because if you never really held it in your hand in the first place, then outside of the digital claim to it, did you really own it? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, like digital contract, digital assets, digital this, digital that. Man, people are just falling right for it. Come on.
Hey, man, so a lot of people, to their defense, a lot of people are using it for good. You know what I'm saying? They're able to get more weight, or, as we saw from the call before, we had some community members, bought a house with it. So people doing some real things in the real world with it, though. So I'm not hating completely, but I get your point, though.
I'm hating completely, Mike. I can go do something on the street corner and get the money that way, but I'm not gonna go do that. You're just baiting the, you're just helping them out,
Yeah, it definitely plays into the arena they want you in. Like, like this cryptocurrency blockchain revolution, it's steering us down the same pathway that they needed us to go down in order to justify getting rid of a dying dollar. Like, once this thing gets out of hand to where it becomes obvious to the world, then what will they do? What options would they have had they not had an intermediary in the time being, allowing them time to come up with their own digital version of the rebranded dollar, so that we can usher in that road? So that's, it's
the classic bait and switch, Mike. Women do this all the time. They act all nice, especially like divorcees.
Yeah.
They act all nice. Hey, honey, yeah. And then once they get that little ring on it, bam, they're a different person.
Yeah, man. Good stuff, man. What else is going on with you, man?
Not much, Mike. Oh yeah. One thing I was going to tell you, like they mentioned it in the chat, and the other gentleman a few calls ago.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting their farm up, Mike.
Yeah.
I see it in the neighborhood. People growing potatoes in bags and buckets and on ledges, different types. And, since I do a little gardening, I can tell, I can identify the plants. Then I even see people with pigs, Mike, in the city, like little pigs,
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they get the little Vietnamese, like the potbelly pigs.
Yeah.
And I guess they're just pets, up until they get hungry, and they're no longer pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, Mike.
Hey, man, like, so I think so. Like this spring and this summer, I think are going to be defining moments, even more so than what we experienced before for our country, to where more people are waking up and realizing that perhaps we don't need to rely upon, the restaurants and all the other, private companies the way we had before. Let me try to do it myself, i.e. get some farms, some pigs, and so that's a good thing. And so my biggest concern is like with what's going on in Florida right now. So just today, DeSantis said, starting now, executive order, COVID don't exist here ultimately. You know what I'm saying? Like no mask, no protections. that we got more than enough vaccine. We got more vaccines than people actually using. So we should be good to go. Now, will states follow suit, or will there be some backlash from the orchestrators of this whole event? Are they going to attack Florida? And, I say any minute we can expect some type of false flag event to distract us, but yet also cause damage, to send a warning to somebody trying to get out of line. So what are your thoughts on that, man?
I think that the states are going to separate, Mike. They're going to have to. Look at Texas; they open carry now, and our lieutenant governor, he's sitting there riding the fence, because he don't know who's going to vote for me.
Yeah.
And Greg Abbott, he said, I'm going to support it 100%.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to do it, Mike. Too many people armed. People are waking up. Like before, they just give you a little nod. Like the Fight Club. Now everybody's downstairs fighting, Mike.
So, and that's another thing. Like, I would rather, and this is just me, just thinking off the top of my head, I would rather see the states, be in disagreement and probably secede from the union than have us all buy in and go down that Build Back Better one world agenda and we lose everything. You know what I'm saying? Like for Michigan, for example, like here in Michigan, we got the 5 phases where Whitmer saying that if we stay on track with the jabs, we should be good by October. And I'm like, once the weather gets officially good, ain't nobody going to get no damn jab anyway. So that's why they got they come out with the government affiliate program. Get $50 for bringing a friend. You know what I'm saying? So people gonna be going out trying to grab people. Hey man, let me get this $50. I grabbed 10 people this week. I made $500. So when the government got to pay you to bring people down, that goes to show how bad things really are, because people are not really concerned no more. They want to move on with their lives. So Michigan may not be going nowhere, unfortunately. So I would definitely be forced to leave Michigan, is what I'm getting at. So,
you could come down here to Texas, and also, Mike, I think that the states they have backup plan. This open carry stuff, monetizing gold and silver's legal tender, taking the taxes away from it. They every state's getting their backup plan ready.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question real quick, and so. I think it was Arkansas, last week or two, just announced that they're, removing the taxes off of gold and silver. And so do you see, for some reason, the possibility of a state saying, we can, because of the price difference in the value of a silver and gold or whatever, do you see a state trying to literally put gold and silver like publicly out into the people's hands saying, dump your Federal Reserve notes? You might want to, like China did with gold years ago, like telling people, get your weight up now before whatever. Do you see a state basically coming out running ads and stuff saying people to dump your Federal Reserve notes?
Well, right now, Mike, look, the thing with the state is they can't issue currency. They can't produce fiat.
Right.
That's the problem they have. And
right.
So they're dependent on federal dollars for everything they do. It's not. I don't think they're gonna do it by decree.
Right.
They already got the law in place.
Yeah.
Both at the federal level and the state. I think it's gonna take an inflationary event.
Yeah. But I also think. Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I think that's the only thing. Out of chaos, they're gonna say, okay, see, we already have the law on the book, so let's go with that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some chaos. It's not gonna be because they wanted to. You know.
Now watch it. Here's another option as well, because states typically they can't create their own currency, but then they can honor the actual constitution and make gold and silver currency as a part of their own saving mechanisms for their own state treasury or whatnot. So they can accept it in taxes and probably give a little favorable discount type of situation for whatever taxes or property taxes, whatever taxes, and actually accept gold and silver at a little bit of a discount rate for the actual cost of the tax itself, and start to save gold and silver in their own savings, therefore having a reserve for the state just in case something jumps off. They can probably consider figuring out a way to monetize the metals and put it back out there, either some type of blockchain digital connection or whatever. But if they accept it for taxes and keep it in their own savings, they'll have a little cushion that can probably ease some of the blow. You think that'll work?
I think it'll work, but the thing is that the dollar has to be destroyed. Without the dollar destroyed, because this is what they're gonna do. If the state wants to, they can say, okay, well, they grab all the dollars and buy up all the gold and silver. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When it comes to the point where people are not gonna let go of the metal, that's when all hell's gonna break loose, because they won't be able. The dollar will be useless, and they're gonna have a hyperinflationary event, and then after all that, then that's when the golden silver will come back. Because
Yeah.
no one's gonna let go of it. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have to. You know.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, man. Well, hey, low blood pressure. Appreciate you, man, for chiming in and sharing your 2 cents, man. Good to hear from you as always.
Cool. All right, everybody, get your weight up. All right, Mike.
Definitely. Be good. All right. Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Appreciate the call-ins as well as the chat activity. Yeah. So if you guys have enjoyed the back and forth, man, and just getting a chance to interact, hit that thumbs up button. Show your boy some love. I appreciate it. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland, California.
TB. You heard me giving you a shout out early, man, talking about the divisiveness in the Discord last night, man. What's up, man?
Oh, it's all love. It's
I know.
all love, man. You know, my brothers, man, if we can't chime back at each other and give us our own thoughts, then we aren't free.
Right.
It's all good, but you know, time's going to tell it all.
Mhm.
And I'm at the point. Let's see where we're at, so we see where we're going. Because
Mhm.
hope and faith kills a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
The QR codes, I can start anywhere. I ran into a dude today who's a construction worker, big time construction worker.
Yeah.
And he told me that they had to do QR code with a temperature check at the job site. Everywhere he went, hospital, QR code.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went, he had to do a temperature check with the QR code, say he was good.
Now watch this. With the QR code, it was showing the results of what? What I mean, the test or the jab?
That you got the test.
That you got the
that
test.
you tested negative, and now that you tested negative, you can come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the chickens, like I said, Popeyes, I ordered a 10-piece Popeye chicken this week, and the box was so small, I thought it was a 4-piece.
So it's the shrinkflation. They give you smaller wings, but the same price, huh?
Yeah, for the no, they make it 50 cents cheaper. But yeah, with the chicken, you can only shrinkflate so much before people start realizing. Then the game's up.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening with this chicken thing, because Costco sells tons of chicken.
Yeah.
The same weight, 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Tons of chicken.
I saw something floating around about the Costco toilet paper and how shrinkflation, where, you know, a couple months ago, you got 20 more tiles on your roll of toilet paper than you are now. So, and then, of course, we've been talking about how your bag of chips been having air in it for the longest anyway. And I said, that same quarter bag now, it's 35 cents, but it's more air in the bag.
Right. I guarantee, do what everybody do something. Take a piece of bread and let it sit on the counter for as long as you want, and it'll look just like a French fry from McDonald's.
Genetically modified. So, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I showed a little graph of I think the top 6 or 7 companies own pretty much every subsidiary of everything we pretty much eat. So your shelf is in that cabinet and everything else. And I'm thinking, like, all that stuff up there, just the Snickers and candy bars and chips. And you walk into a gas station, walk into a store, everything in the damn store is genetically modified. So that's all we've eaten, unless you do the health food, the vegan stuff / organic stuff, which a lot of people don't go that route because it's expensive as hell. But we already eating trash, man.
There's nothing organic. Even the organic stuff's allowed to have some percentage of chemical on it.
Yeah.
Even you can still call it organic.
Yeah.
Oh, about the thing, they letting the inmates out. I got a buddy who's I ain't gonna call him a buddy.
Mm-hmm.
He is a OPD.
Yeah.
Sergeant,
Mm-hmm.
and his daughter and my son are in the same class, and I talk to him somewhat on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me today that they are not arresting anybody.
Damn.
I said, what? He said, they are not arresting anybody, even if they are felon. He said, a guy could come through waving a gun. He will not get arrested. I was like, why is that? He's like, because of the CV thing. Everybody's using that as an excuse in overpopulation, so they're just not arresting anybody. And so crime's going to go up around here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'd assume it hasn't become like a primary subject matter where even the criminals know that they good. You know what I'm saying? That you can get away with pretty much whatever you want down there, which is bad, man. Because that's going to definitely it's going to lead to. And this is the movie. What's that movie called? The movie where at midnight, all rules are off. Like, you can do what you want. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what it's called. I remember that too.
Yeah, so like the sirens go off and people be barricading themselves in the house. You get like 7 hours to go out and do what you got to do, type of thing, man. Like, that's where this is, like, this type of insanity. This is where this is going, man. Because when I saw this article, man, I'm like, to keep the prison safe. Like, what? Like, huh? Like, okay. So yeah, we're beyond the point where everything is upside down and not much of anything really makes sense anymore for me.
His
You know what I'm
comment to
saying?
me was, things got to move more towards the center. I said, rather than the far left. He said, yes, rather than the far left. So if he knows it and his fellow officers knows it is far left, then we need to rethink our plan. We are under the assumption that everything's all right until it's not.
Yeah.
When darn all right now.
Yeah.
And we need to start gearing ourselves towards that. Because it ain't gonna get any better.
Right.
I mean, it's like Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I heard me a while back telling you that they took Bitcoin and make it the new dollar.
Yeah.
How do you do that without changing the tax code? You have to change the tax code, and the feds can't do anything anyway. They're independent government. They're independent entities. That's no more federal than Federal Express.
Right. And I still like it's the enforcement aspect of it. If as more attention gets around this whole crypto space and more people go out and get exposure to it, exactly how will you really enforce it to where you're going to be able to have the manpower from the IRS to keep track of everything? And then, I'm not sure if Biden's little slippage of tongue today where he talked about the whole taxation structure, saying that those under 400,000, you'll have to pay no more taxes. And I'm not sure if you meant no more taxes or no additional taxes, but yet, that kind of got a little attention itself, as if like perhaps they plan on doing something with the tax gain. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
Who somebody makes $400,000 to pay taxes?
But yeah, watch this. They can get away with that because most people who are interested in that, they're the ones that say that those individuals need to pay their fair share. So they bought into that idea that the rich people, the people who are hardworking capitalists, they've destroyed our country. They need to pay for it, not me. They need to give it to me type of approach. So,
well, they started for 400 and couldn't get enough taxes. I'm tell you how it goes. They started at 400 and couldn't get enough. So now they need to go to the 200, then the 100, then the 50,000, then the 30. And then next thing you know, middle class is the only one paying taxes again.
Yeah. So it's very interesting how this plays out, man.
We need to step up ours.
Yeah, definitely. Now, give me your thoughts real quick on this digital dollar, man. The former CFTC boss digital dollar project is ready to kick off first U.S. tests. What do you think? It's coming this year or what? This is what? They're gonna do some airdrops pretty soon or what?
Well, I've been torn with Bitcoin, as you well know.
Yeah.
But I think it's to the point where you and I are in the same camp. Why is it every time I see something about Bitcoin, it's usually with the S&P 500, the Facebook, and all the big tech people.
Yeah.
But when I hear from the Fed, they're like CBDC. It's a fight. It's a fight between the big tech and big pharma and big government, and we just pawns in the middle.
Yeah, and
which
so
is unfortunate. I don't think they've known this was coming. This is nothing new to them. It's just a matter of who's going to win.
Yeah. Well,
and that's the way I see it, and I don't see it being this year. I see it being in the next 5 years when China can get their CBDC through the SDR. They don't have enough membership now, even though they got 103 countries signed on with their AIIB. They don't have enough to push us over.
Yeah,
that's why we can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
we're the king.
Yeah,
we can do whatever we want to whoever we want, and if you don't like it, your dollar goes down while ours come up.
Hey, man, appreciate you, TB, man. Thanks for calling in.
Love you in Discord.
Yes, sir, man. See you there.
Bye.
Yeah, man. All right. So with that being the case, people get ready to dial back. We're approaching our 53-minute mark. And so, great connection with you guys today, man. Appreciate the love and the super chats and the support of the channel. Let me actually address that last one real quick from Miles. Let me see. It says they are going to blame the economic collapse on the silver squeeze and stackers causing instability in the dollar during a pandemic. Stackers and preppers will be blamed hard. Miles. Yeah, man. I'm not sure if you had a chance to check out my last little rant about how the silver squeeze stuff, I believe, can turn into a national security issue simply because it literally shakes at the foundation of the current criminality of this monetary system. Like, removing gold and silver out of our possession was the ultimate achievement by the criminals. And the fact that people are starting to recognize what is money from a historical standpoint and actually go back towards it in as opposed to going the direction they want us to go, which is the digital route. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good position for them to be in. but it's potentially great for us, the people, because we can hopefully be able to pull enough of the silver out of the system into our own possession to where we no longer, we never needed them, but we don't need them for real. So I think that's something that probably scares them, to where all the governments are bought and paid for. They're the central banks and all the institutions. They're in the pockets of the gut politicians. So you better believe there's a bill in the file cabinet in somebody's office that one of the Democratic, extremely liberal, and Republicans are going to jump on board with. It's going to be some type of bill where they say something about, anti-domestic terrorism, whatever. It's going to be the Trump supporters first is going to get that label. And then anybody under that, people who love having their guns, people who love the Constitution, people who love their country, and also people who believe in sound money. That's all anti-establishment type stuff. They don't like that. You got to be for them or you're against them. And so, yeah, but good stuff, man. So I can rant on and about that one, but I'm not. But for those that have joined in, appreciate you for taking time to join us. Hope you enjoyed your interaction in the community. I want to extend an invitation to you right now. Go over right now. Click the link beneath this video here, and then go over to the social media tab. Join the Discord page. I'll click it right here. Join the Discord page. Once you click that button here, you get an invite. And then it's 199 members, 24 online right now. You can join us over there and chime in, share articles. Share articles, share videos, share whatever comes to mind, and interact with us. We're over there right now. So feel free to join us after the show. It's our little after party spot. Join us. And then also for those that are interested, I want to make sure you guys are aware that support the channel also by getting your weight up. But you also can be a part of I believe, what will be a very unique piece, and it happens to be the Get Your Weight Up round, which is still available, limited edition, of course. So this thing here, I think a total about 500 strikes, and that's all she wrote. So we had a couple hundred, and I want to get these things into everybody's hands so I can come out with my next design. So I want to just flood the market with all these designs and not having people getting their weight up with it. So if you're interested, feel free to get yourself one and also support the channel. And then other than that, people, it has been great hanging out with you. And we'll be back at it again tomorrow, Lord willing. Other than that, be blessed, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.